Yes, Maureen. I can
Thank you
confirm I
so
can hear
much.
you and see you as well.
Thank you, Christine. Thank you, Christine, my amazing colleague. My name is Maureen Radoli. I'm the head of personal finance at Centonomy Limited. And I'm so excited to be part of this conversation today. And I know that we are looking forward to an amazing, amazing session of, great wisdom from our speakers. And today, oh my goodness, the speakers that are going to be gracing our occasion today, trust me, they have the wisdom and they're going to be sharing their experiences just to help us understand how best we can actually position ourselves for career growth in 2022. I can see we are already 69 of us in the room. This is quite amazing. This is quite amazing. James, thank you so much for the feedback. Sound not reaching me very low. If anybody else can confirm the same, if they can't hear me clearly, let me know. James, probably what you can do is try to adjust the volume on your gadget. Just try to adjust your volume on your gadget. If that's not the case, I'll also do the same. While you're at it, aha, okay, all right. Is it better, James? Can you confirm? Is it better? Okay, great. Thank you so much, Stephen. I appreciate for the feedback. Okay, amazing. Christine, okay, thank you so much for the feedback. So just before we delve into the conversation today, because 2020, I'll start with 2020, brought in a lot of shock for most of us. And we realized that industries were either laying off or they really slowed down in terms of promotion. So people are getting promotions at a very minimal rate. But that's not to say that people are not getting promoted. In fact, at my place of work, there are quite a number of people who got promotions. And I'm one of those people who would sit down and wonder, what is happening? But there are people who got promotions. I like the last video that has just been shared by was shared by Christine. And that was one of our amazing trainers, and she's no longer with us, but she does a very amazing, she's one of our mentors, but she comes in as a mentor once you take up the class. And I like what she was saying, that you are an industry, and the relationship between you and your employer is basically the same as doing business. You are selling and they are buying from you. So Karibu Sana Centonomy, and Centonomy is all about shifting mindset so that purposeful people can start creating wealth in whatever industry they are in. And today we are talking about careers, and trust me, you can actually create a very amazing legacy, living the lifestyle that you want, fulfilling your purpose, waking up every morning and you're like, you know what? Hey, I am ready for this. And that is what we do at the Career Hub program. We empower you with the knowledge and skills and give you the appropriate tools that will actually make you stand out and start creating wealth. Even as I talk about creating wealth, I'd like to share my screen. Christine, you can also confirm if you can see my screen. Okay, can you confirm if you can see my screen? I need to transition that. Okay. Sorry for that. Let me just go to slideshow. Then from the beginning. All right, so karibuni sana. Even as I talk about creating wealth, one of our founders was Sheikh Ndwati, who sat down and looked at the employees and realized that people needed to be empowered. And we're talking about purposeful people. Not everybody's in this room. Trust me, everybody was sent out this invitation, but very few people acknowledged and are here today with us. I know some are busy, some are not able to join. Of course, they'll be listening to the recording much later. But you purpose to do what? To throw off your blanket, or probably you're in a vehicle somewhere and you're plugged in your earphones or using earpads, and you're here to listen to this amazing conversation because you are purposeful, and because you want to make a difference, and because you have set goals that have to be met. And this conversation is basically about that. So how do I position myself? How do I get there? How do I create value? How do I create demand so that whoever needs my services, whoever wants to buy from me, can actually get me? Because there are people, nowadays people stopped, and there's so many people who get jobs through headhunting. So how do you get headhunted? At your place of work, how do you stand out and how do you remain valuable? That's the kind of conversation you're going to be having. And even before we delve into the conversation, I just quickly want to share a slide here. my founder, or the founder, not my founder, but the founder of Centonomy Limited, sat down a couple of years back and thought about everybody who's in the employment sector, and they realized that they need to empower themselves, or they need to increase their value so that they are valuable, because there are people who have gotten promotions, as I said. And I remember there's a post I read like 2 weeks ago of a guy who was a doorman. Yes, this is the guy who ushers you in, who makes sure that you have packed well, he gives you a very nice smile. And this guy was working at a bank. He'd usher in everybody who comes in. And 1 year down the line, this gentleman is a colleague to the manager. And I'm like, what? This is really amazing. What was the difference? What choices did he make? What did he realize that maybe some of us, like me, have not yet realized? So this is the time for us to get that aha moment. And I'm excited that we have guys in the room who are going to be helping us do that. And just to talk a little bit about Washek and Wati has written a book called Making Sense. And Making Sense is basically talking about people who want to create, yes, you're employed, you want to move to the next level, you feel you're stuck, you want to move to the next level, but you're still earning an income. So what do you do with the income that you have? I'll advise you guys, I'll encourage you guys to get this copy of the Making Sense book. It only goes for 1,000 bob. And if you cannot order it directly from our offices by calling the number on the screen, there are a number of bookshops that we have written on the screen. There's Raffle Bookshops. You can get it from Amazon. If you're not within Kenya, there's Maria Online Bookshop. There's Kabanga Bookshop. And then we have bookshops in Nairobi, Prestige Bookshop, Bookstop, Yaya Center, African Book Hub. You can get this book there, and I'll be sharing this. If anybody needs the book, kindly let me know in the chat box. We'll definitely share that with you. All right, my name is Maureen Radoli, and I'm going to be the moderator today. Yes, and I'm the head of personal finance, and I had to start with that. What are you doing with the money that you earn? But that's not the conversation today. The conversation is how to position ourselves for growth. So I quickly want to read something that I came across on the internet. Allow me just to read it. And it says, I got it from Harvard Business Review, and it says, it's no secret that promotion rates in most industries have slowed down during the COVID season. But of course, things are looking up. And just to mention that we've actually started one of our physical classes at Centonomy. So that tells you that things are getting back into shape, and we've seen more people now getting out and doing businesses as usual. So that means things are actually improving, and we're about to see the economy grow. And when the economy is growing, when things are getting positioned very well, what are you doing for yourself? So there are some positions, of course, there are some industries that are really relevant right now, but that's not to say that wherever you are, you cannot be relevant. So what are some of the things that you could consider to do in order to remain relevant? And I know in this room we have an audience who's been in a certain position for a very long time, and they're like, okay, now what do? I think I've already gained my value. I think I've offered the value that I needed to offer. And this is how I work as a person. Every time I get a new position anywhere, I always set for myself 3 goals. So wherever you are, have you set for yourself goals? Are they clear for you? And once you achieve those goals, it is very easy for you to say, you know what, I am done. I have learned, probably I've created impact. I have grown, I have shared knowledge, and this is where I want to go next. Yeah. So, and just quickly, as the article says, it is important for us to be keen about what is happening in the marketplace. And that's why it's very important to have conversations like this today. And today with us, we have amazing, amazing speakers. I can see Jesse Rogers. Jesse Rogers has graced our screens for quite a while. Yes, for quite a while. I can see Yvonne Shasuvila, a beautiful name, Shasuvila. I love that name. I hope I pronounce it right. So she's going to be taking us through and giving us a few insights on what we need to do. And then we're going to have a couple of people who've actually gone through the program, and they understand the experience. They understand what it means. When you talk about coming into class and being empowered with the tools that you need to go to the next level, are you just a car that is being driven on a highway? Or are you that red, amazing car that produces an amazing sound? I wish I was a car enthusiast. I would, of course, describe this in a very nice way, because sometimes when I'm in the public means, and you spot a car, this is what I keep on saying. God, can you just allow a little bit of traffic so that I can just have a glance at this amazing automobile? Are you that person? You want to get to that level of understanding what value you can offer? What is your value? What is your strength? Are you able to do something or add a skill to that so that you stand out when employers are actually seeking and looking for that person who can offer value? So, so that I don't take much of your time, I want to welcome Jesse Rogers. I know Jesse Rogers is in the room. I saw him in the room, and I just want to go through his biography. This is amazing. Jesse, I hope you are on the screen. You can turn on your camera even as I go through your biography. This is amazing. Oh, this is impressive. Like you're just done with college and you get into the job market. And I'd want to understand how that works, because I know there are young people here who are saying, you know what, the industry just wants people who have experience. So how did you get into journalism immediately after high school? Yes, immediately after college, you've done your degree. Then what happens? We see you in the newsroom. And just allow me to read through and just peruse quickly. I won't read everything, but of course, he'll tell us more about himself. So this is mantra. The sole aim of journalism should be service. So I know Jesse believes in service. So journalism to Jesse was hatched in the early years of his life, from reading newspaper articles to his parents. Amazing. I love this. Parents in the room, see where this gift was born. To admiring veterans like Catherine Kasavuli. I love Catherine Kasavuli and Njoroge Maura. Oh my goodness. While anchoring news, and the flame to join the journalism realm burnt brightly from the onset. Jesse, I don't want to talk for you. I don't want to talk for you. I know you are in a better position to sell your value. And trust me, every time you grace our screens, we are blessed and we are impacted by how you deliver and how you share the story. Welcome, Jesse. Good to have you, sir.
Well, thank you so much, Maureen. I hope you can hear me. I seem to have a small challenge with starting my video. Every time I click on it, it mentions the host has disabled it. So I don't know if I could get some help. Perhaps.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. I can hear your voice very well. So let me just.
Oh, thank you.
That can be sorted. Right, I'll have my colleague just help me do that shortly.
No problem.
Yeah. So Christina, in a position to assist, kindly?
We're working on it, Maureen. Let me call the host.
All right, thank you. Okay, great. Now, I suggest he has left the room. I don't know how that happened, but he should be joining us shortly. So probably a quick question to all of us, a very quick question to all of us. What is your goal for 2020? Yes, you're aspiring to make a difference. Your aspiration is to make a difference in your career in 2020. I can see somebody has raised their hand. Is there any question and probably even as Jesse joins the room, I'll kindly request if we can all say where we are listening in from. Karibuni sana, where we're listening in from. We're about 165 of us. So where are you tuning in from? Then that way, as we wait for Jesse, so we'll know where we are tuning in from so that we are able to speak to everybody and make sure that we are offering value, because the idea is offering value at all times. Is Jesse back in the room? All right, thank you so much. Just multimedia, great. There's Evans from Eldoret. We have there's somebody from Loresho, Masters is from Loresho. There's Jacinta from Embakasi, Zimmerman representing. Thank you so much. There's David from Dagoretti. We have Nakuru campus. I love the fact that young people have joined in today. There's Nairobi, there's Mombasa. So the speakers, our speakers today, trust me, look at the people you're mentoring, because these guys saw your posters and they decided to come into the room. So great job, great job. We have a team from Langata, Uganda, wherever they know, Karibu Sana. There's Memli, Kadure from Memli, and then we have Hannah, there's Laikipia Kisumu coming in pretty fast. Okay, thank you so much. That's coming in pretty fast. Jesse, are you able to turn on your video?
Well, unfortunately not. I really don't know what's happening this time around. The same message is being mirrored on my screen. You cannot start your video because the host has disabled it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And right now? Don Home Kisii, even as Jesse tries to get his video on. Still the same message?
Still the same message, unfortunately.
It's the same for me as well, Maureen.
All right, okay, let me just get a little bit of help. So guys, kindly type in the chat box, even as you tell us where you're from, your expectation, as we sort this out shortly. Give me a minute, we should be back. Thank you.
It's great to see all of you here. This is Yvonne. Just keep letting us know where you're joining us from. For those ones who are just joining us, that is great. Karibuni. Kindly don't leave. Maureen is trying to sort out the videos. We'll be with you guys shortly. Thank you so much. Sharon, Jane, everyone who's commenting, we really appreciate it. Kindly give Maureen a few minutes. I'm sure she'll be right back.
When people push the boundaries, but they really like it. When people push the boundaries.
All right. Hi, Jesse.
Hi.
Are you able to start speaking so that we see how best you can just say something as we work on it?
Sure, I can do just that.
Thank you.
No problem. Well, okay, where to start? I guess I'd like to welcome everyone who spared time out of their busy schedules, it being a Saturday and whatnot, to listen into this. Welcome to Centonomy, and as Maureen Radoli mentioned, we'll try and take a look at the journeys in career spaces. In my case and example, I'll definitely try and delve deeper into the media industry for anyone who's trying to get into it, and equally highlight some of the actionable steps I actually got to work on in order to achieve a moderate level of career success. Because you know what they say, this career success term is, it's a journey, it's not a destination. So you really need to invest in yourself all round. And that's not just in the media space. My video is working now.
Oh, great. Thank God. I don't know how that happened.
I also don't know. I think we're good to go. If you can
yes,
see
we
me.
are. Yes, I can see you clearly. Karibu sana.
Asante sana. Thank you. I think I'll just get right into it. and welcome everyone once again. My name is Jesse Rogers, as you had. I work with Standard Group PLC, whose subsidiary is KTN News. And that's why perhaps I'm a familiar face right now. So I'll try and break down my journey in the career I am in. That's the media field, which, needless to say, is constantly growing and changing. You know, how news is delivered today bears little resemblance to perhaps 20 years ago or 10 years ago when I was watching the likes of Catherine and whatnot. And this is perhaps attributed to the change in the media space. Internet is definitely a great disruptor, but others also choose to look at it as a great enabler as well. So it's all to do with self-knowledge and which specific path you want to take in the media field. And something Maureen mentioned really stuck with me, and I think that's where I'll start. That transition period. You've just finished campus, you're trying to look for work, and then you keep on hearing that most managers are looking for experience. You know, when you're looking at those job applications, 2 to 3 years experience is usually one of the taglines they use. Well, that scared me at first, I must say, but it didn't stop me. And I think I'll get to break it down just a little bit on how I was able to overcome such challenges and still was able to sell myself at a young age. Because just as one of the other speakers mentioned, the goal perhaps is to be headhunted. You don't want to be part of the flock, you know? We're all trying to stand out in terms of our careers. Anyway, interestingly, I studied at Kenyatta University. And at the time I was there, they happened to start a radio campus station. And just like any inquisitive young fella who had an interest in this particular field, I chose to give it a try. And I think that's the very first step. You really need to know what you want in life. You know, that self-knowledge sort of view that you see, this is where I can add value if I'm able to invest my time, if I'm able to cultivate on certain skills, and this might take me to the next level. So started really small, campus radio for roughly 2.5 years. Then they happened to start a TV station still within the same university. And after having 2.5 years experience, I was like, perhaps I can give it a shot. I know it's a different realm. There's usually a joke within the media industry. Guys who do radio have radio faces. So I wanted to try and see if my face would fit on the TV as well. And at that point, you know, perhaps there were different things driving me, of course, self-actualization and whatnot. But at the initial point of view, my initial motivating, my driving force was trying to make something out of myself. And perhaps I approached it in the wrong way as well, because with media comes the attention, you know, you're a familiar face, others might think you're a celebrity. So at first I was really focused on that. But when I got to really get the feel of it, starting small at the campus TV station, you get to realize that content is king, you know? So it's little about how you look. How you look is very important. You have to brand yourself, as you can see. I'm in a tie, and trust you me, it's really hot outside. I'm in Coast, just to give a disclaimer. But yes, so that was my journey. Started small, and I got to realize content is king at the very fast onset rather. So how exactly do I get from that level to the next after realizing that, sure, there might be a couple of good looking faces on TV, but how do you sell yourself and get the employer to, you know, come for you and want to make you part of a different organization? Because that was the goal. I saw KUTV as a stepping stone to the next level. So what I mentioned earlier on, self-knowledge is quite very important, and exploration as well. For those young-minded fellows who are actually listening right now, I think that's why Centonomy have and such programs are very important because our education system sort of, inculcates you to think, you study, after that, you'll get a job. What next? There's something called financial literacy 101 as well. We barely get this in school, in our school systems. So there's so much more. And I think that's why education is a very important foundation. Wherever you start, you really need to invest in yourself, whether through such programs, which are sort of detailed to take it to the next level. And that's one of the key secrets to job success. So when I got to realize that content is king, as they mentioned, you really need to sort of change your mindset to, trying to smile less and attract the viewers with this and that, but use your content as a major selling point. So I made sure I was doing news on a daily basis, despite being in class, it was a tight schedule, but eventually things pay off. And that's one thing we need to know, that things naturally shouldn't come that easy, especially with the advent of social media. For the young fellas, you might think, someone posts, life is easy, life is good, but you barely see the hard work behind the scenes, the sacrifice as well. So I had to sacrifice chilling with some of the friends. I had to drop a couple of friends because you don't have time. You're juggling between books on one side and trying to create a career on the other at a very early stage. So that was one of the main challenges. Luckily, I was able to juggle it. And after, taking a look at what value I can offer, maximizing on it in the media industry, be it features, be it trying to handle different platforms. I started off doing entertainment, believe it or not. I would tell you the latest song, and all that, but I had to reinvent myself because I saw news was the way to go for me. And that's where my strength was. And I got to realize it, luckily, at a very young age. So going forth, luckily I was headhunted from the campus TV station, and the rest, as they say, is history. But I'll definitely try and take a look at some of the challenges that I got from the onset. As I mentioned, the media industry is definitely changing. When I was watching the likes of Catherine Kasavuli and those big names who used to anchor news back then, watching news was religious, Your dad would take hold of the remote and silence would prevail. You're listening. But right now, with the phones and whatnot, it's so easy to interact with news. You don't really have to watch it. Twitter is definitely one of our major competitors. But regardless of that, we all have to coexist in this space. Now, joining a big company like Standard Group PLC, you find major brands, guys who have established themselves already. And that's where you actually decide, or you take a route of having to be intentional with your approach. If you're trying to build yourself as a brand, if you're trying to, get to the next level in your career, if let's say I'm trying to aim to BBC, well, what exactly do I need to do to get to the next level? And that's why I got intentional with my approach, especially at work. And it's also proper to note that, career management is a must if you expect to maximize success and happiness for the hours, over 40 hours in a week. Those hours you invest in work, you really have to take a look at career management and equally have a keen ear to the opportunities that are there. Many employees don't look past their current job or the next promotion that they're angling for. And something that Maureen mentioned, those 3 goals that you have to write down, they're usually overemphasized. By the time July comes, you can barely remember what you wrote in January. But the fact that you're holding yourself to account, I think that's the bigger picture. You really have to hold yourself to account. You have to be intentional with your approach. The first step is setting goals, and you have to create a plan to achieve them. So be constant, be intentional with some of these plans, and not each and every one of them will be achieved under the certain time frame. Don't be too hard on yourself as well. I mean, we're human. This is a journey, not a destination, as I mentioned. So just be intentional as much as possible. You know, remind yourself in July that I set out to perhaps do a feature story highlighting the COVID-19 issues in the country, and try and do that and submit it. And you might just get an award. Who knows? So you really have to be intentional around that. You equally have to develop a timeline and include the milestones you really want to achieve. That's part of owning your career path. And I really got to learn this with interacting with Waithaka Gatumi on the side and such knowledgeable fellas that, you know, add value to you. So also check your circle for the young fellas who are watching right now and you really want to get to the next level. I mean, your circle will either challenge you, will either perhaps slow you down, unfortunately. So try and cultivate the people you hang around with. Take a look at the value. It should be both ways. And I mentioned planning is very important. I mean, at the onset of my career, just joining KTN News, you know, at the entry level, how do I get to the next level? Is it more visibility? Is it, you know, trying to brand myself, trying to look the part, even though I am barely acting the part, you know? So at times you really have to take on these challenges head on and prepare for yourself. The media is a highly competitive industry. I really need to mention that, because if I ask you to mention, I mean, notable media personalities off your head, you'll definitely start with the likes locally, perhaps the likes of Jeff Koinange and whatnot. And I might feature around number 10 over there. So how do I get myself to the likes of the Jeff Koinange and whoever is regarded as a bigwig in the media industry? Having a plan is very important. Without one, you can feel rudderless. You might not have a benchmark against which you can measure your own progress within your career. Equally, as I mentioned, keep your circle, you have to be intentional with your circle and keep your circle close. The moment I joined, you know, you try and reach out to some of your colleagues. I know I mentioned it's a competitive area, quite competitive, but you need to cultivate relationships with your colleagues. And that's what networking really is. You just don't network outside the company, but equally inside. And at the onset, when you join, trust me, I mentioned I happened to start with entertainment and slowly transitioned into news because that's where my passion is. During the entry level, and this goes out to the young fellas, you really need to keep an open mind about the type of work you want to do. Of course, I had a goal of becoming a news anchor and getting to the levels of the who is who in the industry. But at the onset, I need to show my employers that I can handle the task they've given me, first of all, before I transition to the next. So don't look down at, you know, the entry level. Maureen equally mentioned that particular security guard who used to work in the bank. I don't know what he did. I'd like to know a little bit later on, but I'm pretty sure he kept an open mind. And with the goal in mind, you'll definitely get there if you're intentional. So as I mentioned, the media is quite competitive, and it's equally important to maintain a healthy work-life balance. Equally, that goes a long way because the value you give to your employer should sort of, you know, take you to the next level, but equally, what value are you giving yourself? And that's why earlier on I mentioned that personal development, investing in yourself, such classes will definitely get you to the next level. Because trust you me, you can always learn from someone else. That's one important thing. Now, in terms of my foundations of success, what I view as success, as I mentioned, media is quite competitive. And on-job success is contributed by various things, be it, your personal branding. Perhaps I can start from there. And I know Mwenesi is definitely well-versed in this particular area. And that's why I had to do a tie over here, trying to outsmart him. But just a light joke. But anyway, personal branding, especially in the media industry, will go a long way in selling you. You might have the content, but if you don't look the part, I'm pretty sure Maureen will easily, take hold of the remote and switch to yet another channel who might be saying the same thing I'm saying, but they look the part. So personal branding. And with media, you really have to be cautious about how you carry yourself with the age of internet and bloggers and whatnot. Yes, you really have to be cautious about, where you hang out, if you hang out, which type of friends you keep close, because most people want to associate with a familiar face. That feeling of, I know a celebrity, but what are they giving in return? So you really have to evaluate your circle. And luckily, I learned that from the onset. So branding is very important in order to be seen and heard by whoever matters. Is it the decision makers? If I happen to bump into my boss who's just coming from the third floor boardroom and he mentions, perhaps the TV was on mute and he mentions, hey, I liked how you look, and I happen to make a couple of mistakes, but the smile on your face will definitely hide it. It gives you an aura of confidence. That's very important. The next foundation of success, especially for those who are angling to join the media industry, you need to develop a niche. Let it sell you. This will actually make you, head hunted, if that is the goal in mind. Because how do you stand out in a pool of well-educated people, individuals who have invested time, who have vast experience, who are perhaps even more experienced than you? How do you stand out? And in the media industry, you definitely have to develop a niche. There are those who are really good in doing stories, feature stories. And you can see the likes of the current member of parliament for Nyali, Mohammed Ali, Jicho Pevu actually got him to the next level. That was his niche and he ran with it. The likes of Dennis Onsarigo and whatnot. There's equally the likes of Jeff Koinange, who's really good on the screen. You have a good on-air presence. You can definitely go a long way in maximizing this. So there are different avenues. You have to be intentional, try and develop a niche wherever you are. If you're at the starting level, beginner, middle level, develop a niche and it will definitely take you to the next level. I equally mentioned it's competitive and you have to sort of create value where you work. People should see you, people should feel you. And that can be translated perhaps in, I can give an example. When I joined Standard Group PLC, I happened to do lunchtime news at that particular point in mind, but that wasn't the goal. That was the entry level, so I'm trying to calculate, how do I get myself, how do I endear myself to my bosses? So if, let's say, the likes of one senior anchor is unwell, who will they be thinking of, So I'm like, okay, so I need to sort of do this and this and this to get to the next level. If it's maintaining a healthy working relationship with your bosses, with your colleagues, trust you me, I know small talk is not easy, especially in the office, but it might go a long way in pushing you. You can be vocal about what you want. Approach your boss and mention that perhaps I have this goal in mind. I'd like to start such a show. And they tell you you're not yet ready. So you don't stop there, you ask, so what do I need to do to get ready? If it's doing more stories, if it's handling bigger interviews, just strive to get that opportunity. And while you do that, you're marketing yourself. That's a good thing with the media industry. If they happen to switch on the TV or they're on their phone and they see a current discussion and you're there, you're marketing yourself. So it's always an interview in the media industry. You never know if your next boss is watching, if your next business partner is watching. So always be on your toes. I know there's a narrative that perhaps TV sirens are all smiles, makeup, you have to look the part, dress really well, but there's really more to that. As I mentioned on the onset, content is king. So read into what you want to focus on. If it's politics, this being a political year, trust you me, you better know how the timelines by IEBC fall through. By April 9th, parties should have submitted what and what. And when you get the chance to do a link on air, once you have really invested in yourself, in the content, in your branding, and you get that chance, this will be an interview and you never know who is watching. So market yourself, cultivate relationships with your colleagues, develop contacts, especially within the media industry. This is one of the foundations of success. If a breaking news story develops, you would have an added advantage if you have a contact on your list that will give more insight into a particular breaking story. So you really have to be aggressive, especially if you want to make it at the early stage. So creating value, branding yourself, develop a niche, keeping an open mind about the type of work you want to do. You have to be intentional with your approach, on your career path as well. So benchmark, write it down, take a look at the actionable steps you have. At the beginning of the year, I personally write it down. And one of my main goals, I hope my current employers are not listening, is perhaps to transition to an international media station. So what do I need to do to achieve this? Do international media stations have a high affinity to politics? If not, what do they have a high affinity to? Is it human interest stories? Are you strong in that? What do I need to do to perhaps highlight a story that will get me an award and get me recognized by an international media station? So it's definitely a journey. It's not a destination. Number two, don't put too much pressure on yourself. Because I graduated with some of my classmates, and up till now, perhaps some of them, unfortunately, do not have formal employment, especially in the field they studied in. And that's a current challenge, bearing in mind the COVID-19 disruption and the pandemic and the state of economy and whatnot. What we need to learn is to apply the knowledge we learned in campus or whatever level or whatever institution you went to. How can you apply that knowledge? So as much as you're looking for work, as much as you're trying to get different job, you're doing something and applying the knowledge you learned. I think that will definitely get you to the next level. It's not easy. It might not have satisfaction of money at the onset, but trust you me, Waswahili say mahaba na haba ujaza kibaba. The little you do will definitely go a long way. And your employer, finally, when they're taking a look at the 2 years or 3 years experience, trust you me, that little internship you do, the volunteering you did, it might go a long way. It might not have monetary satisfaction, but you will definitely be able to create contacts. You'll be able to, market yourself, and it will still have value. So at the onset, don't give up. I think that would be a proper point to pass over the baton to you, Maureen. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jesse. Wow, that was really amazing. And I can see some comments coming in. Please don't leave. I want you to respond to some of the questions that might be coming through. A couple of things that I noted, and this is very important to note. And it's like you've been to the class, Jesse, like you've just spoken about what the Career Hub program does. Yes. So one thing that I need to really note is you said it is important to understand your self-value. That is where it all begins. Then you need to, once you build your self-value, I think you said is identify what is important in the industry that you are in, and then try to align yourself. Aligning yourself is getting the right skills to make sure that you are seen. And then you went ahead and talked about your personal brand. Yes, personal brand is very important. That's some of the things that we talk about in class. Just understanding what people say when you leave that room. What do people say when you leave that room? Yes, are you that kind of person who walks into a room and guys are like, that car? We know that car. Are you that kind of person who walks in a room and the guys are like, what? They are here. Yes. So personal branding really does that. And you also went ahead and talked about develop a niche. Yes, develop a niche for yourself. And Mwenesi is very big on this. That identify what you're good at. Identify what you're good at in whatever area it is. Of course, in your place of work. I am a marketer, but I enjoy doing this. I enjoy moderating. I enjoy training. And the time I realized that Centonomy offers such opportunities, I didn't even think twice. I was not a very good orator, but I have learned with time. And if you were to go over to our social media pages and just look at some of the events that I've moderated before, there's a big difference. I am more confident, so I'm learning on the job. And then you also talk about building very important networks. So social capital is a module that you come into class to know, to learn. And one of the things that you learn in class is all the networks that you build over the years should be able to add value to you. So what kind of networks are you building? Jesse, this was really impressive. If I was to read everything that I've written down, like a whole 2.5 pages, I hope guys are taking down notes and just the idea of reinventing yourself because times are changing. And I think sure. Yvonne will come and tell us more about this once she starts speaking, that you might have studied in school probably a certain career, but things change. My background is in HR. What am I doing in marketing? What am I doing in marketing? But here I am selling and of course hitting my target. And of course,
my background is in economics.
Look at that. Look at that. So you should be able to reinvent yourself so that you fit in and look for something that you really like doing. Because I think, Jesse, you do that very well. You really, you're an amazing anchor. And somebody will just want to sit down and listen to you. And for the young guys in the room, stop waiting until you get a job. Experience, you're building your experience wherever you are. For as long as you're in school and there's an opportunity to do something, please pick up that and do it. And yesterday I think 2 days ago, we had a meeting with the founder of Centonomy, and she was talking about mothers, mothers who are at home. They don't go to work. They have careers, but they're at home. And she said, that's a career in itself. Like when you're writing down your CV, don't forget to include that you're a good planner. Yes, you're a stay-at-home mom, but you organize your family. Like that's a big organization, making sure that you're bringing up children and transforming them into something that's very relevant, transforming them to problem solvers. That's really amazing. So identify your value, build on it, reinvent yourself. Please set those goals and create a plan. Jesse, thank you for reminding us because some of us beat ourselves really hard. Like, why did you achieve this by this particular date? So make sure as much as you're writing that plan, don't be hard on yourself. I'm just waiting for the responses in the chat box. Hey, somebody says, Jesse, how can one improve on media eloquence? I'll talk to you, kind of. Intercorner, kind of, because I need this. Thank you so much for sharing your journey. And even as we proceed with amazing information, can we make sure, let me tell you, I don't know when you'll get to see Jesse again. If you have a question, make sure you direct that question to him. He'll be happy to respond to your questions. So thank you so much, Jesse, for coming and pouring your light to us. That's really, we cannot value that. Thank you so much. So I'll go ahead and just talk about the program offered at Centonomy. That's the Career Hub program. Allow me to share a little bit about the program. And why are we talking about a program? Because you have gone to college. You already have the right skills, the necessary skills, but you get to a point and guys are telling you, no, you need to brand yourself. So what conversation is that? What are we talking about? Yeah. So the program, and this is our tagline, making boss moves. Bosses, let me tell you, when a boss walks into a room, you know that they are a boss. When Jesse turned on his camera, we knew that he was a boss. And he's been working towards that. And that's what the program tries to intends to do. It empowers you to be able to start standing out in whatever you do. So this is what we look at when you break down the program. Yes, of course, there are 7 modules. So you come into class once a week, every Thursday or Saturday morning, and then the modules are 7. So we look at making boss moves. So understanding, are you a general or are you a soldier? What does a soldier do? What does a general do? Of course, a general has a way of having an eye view over things. They're able to see things. They're able to see beyond problems. They're able to see beyond beyond any hurdles that may occur. And then understanding your strength. Jesse understood that he's a very good orator. As much as he was trying to test, I like that when he mentioned that people who are supposed to appear in our screens were supposed to have a certain type of look. But he was bold enough. He understood this is my strength and this is what I was going to offer. Then we go to building a personal brand. This is very key. And when you're building your personal brand, who is your audience? That's the very first question you can always ask yourself. Sorry about that. I hope you can hear me. So who is your audience? Is your general manager your audience? Is probably your competitor might be an audience as well. So how are you building your brand to make sure that you are seen? Then we go to social capital, building networks, very important. Networks are very important because most of us here, and I'm sure probably 70% can attest that for us to have gotten the job that we got, somebody told us, you know what, there's a job opportunity somewhere, just try and apply and see if it suits you. Not because they work there or probably they have connections there, but because they saw something that actually would suit you. And they're like, you know what, I dropped you a flyer on WhatsApp or I dropped you a flyer on your email. Can you try and apply and see how that works out for you? Social networks as well, the social capital that you build will also help you, will also keep you accountable. So where are you at? I belong to a group called Power Tribe, and we try as much as we can to keep each other accountable. Like we meet up once a month just to reevaluate our goals and see how far we are. And when you're looking at our goals, you look at our personal, your personal life, you look at your work, you include the goals that you also include there are probably traveling, what books are you reading, what course are you planning to take up? And it plays a very important role in ensuring that you get to the next level of your career. So the next module is advanced career planning. Guys, you've gotta have a plan. You must have a plan. So where do you want to go next? How do you want to get there? When you're traveling, there's so many means of traveling. We want to go to Mombasa, for example. That's my end goal. I want to go to Mombasa. So there are various means in which I can use to go to Mombasa. I can decide to walk. I can decide to take my bicycle and cycle. I can decide to ride my motorbike. I can decide to take a car, drive myself, or get into a bus, or still take an aeroplane to Mombasa. So how are you going there? And a career plan will help you understand how to get there. And of course, it will also help you understand some of the destinations you need to make, some of the landmarks that you need to identify. And then it's a very amazing module, and a career planner comes in to help you just draft that. And then you have authentic leadership. Yes. So how are you an authentic leader? How are your skills coming in? How are your strengths coming in? How are your qualifications coming in? What type of a leader are you? Yes. What kind of influence do you have over people? Yeah. I keep on telling people that, you know what, we are all leaders in our own spaces. We are all leaders, but what kind of a leader are you? Are you the leader that you've always aspired to be? Then we have effective communication skills. Trust me, this is something that all of us need to learn. You cannot go before your boss and you have not even organized your presentation properly. Yeah, there's something that you need to deliver, but you don't know how to deliver it. Yes, probably you are too wordy. Moderators like us are allowed to speak as much as we can, but understanding the kind of boss you have or the kind of audience. Let me call them audiences and not a boss, because we are trying to make bosses in this room. So understanding your audience and making sure that you actually craft the communication to communicate to them effectively. Very important for anybody who wants to get to the next level. I think I've said a bit about the program, and let me tell you, we start the program on the 10th of March. The cost is not as much as maybe I'm sure somebody's asking, so how much do I spend? The investment that you need to make is only 22,000 350 shillings. And I know that somebody who's taken up the program and they understand the value of the program and they're going to tell us how it feels. And you know, one of the things that we keep on telling people is, if I have used a product, it is very easy for me to tell you how the product is and how it is serving me. So this is how the class looks, because we know we attract very impactful people and purposeful people and intentional people. That we have 2 classes in a week. So we have one class in a week that's Thursdays evening from 6 p.m. to 8:30 p.m. Is it a series that you rush home to watch? What is that series adding to your value? How is it helping you develop your value? How is it helping you build your personal brand? Guys, come into class, meet amazing trainers who are skilled in doing this. And for today, imagine you register at 500 shillings instead of 1,000 shillings, because the registration fee is usually 1,000 shillings. And the cost of the tuition fee is actually at a discount. Now that we are going back to what used to be our normal, not putting on masks, of course, what used to be our normal, things are about to change. The economy is improving, yes. So what are you doing to improve yourself? Jesse mentioned about making sure that you develop your skills. You have identified this is what I want, so you need to develop and build your skills towards that. Okay, great. Asante sana. And I hope you're signing in. The registration details should be coming up shortly so that I don't take much of your time. We have an amazing, amazing, amazing speaker with us today. And she's going to just tell us some of the mistakes that we make. She's going to be giving you the skills that you need, some of the tools that you need to learn in order to get to the next level. We've said we want to make better decisions this year. We want to get to the next level of our career. And I can see Yvonne has already turned on her video. Nice to see you. I love your smile already. This is amazing.
Thanks,
Thank you so much for holding us up, even when the system was, I was trying to figure out how this works, how the system works, and we couldn't see your video. Thank you. That was really, really amazing. I owe you a cup of coffee. Now you see the way Yvonne was actually stepping in this particular role. If I was her boss, what would I have done? Yes, of course, a salary raise or a tip. And that's what we're talking about. So Yvonne is going to be speaking about the mistakes job seekers make in their career and give solutions of how to avoid them. Get your notebooks and pen. Mine is ready. Is yours ready? Are you ready? Is yours ready? So even as she talks about that, I'd like to briefly go through her bio. Allow me to go through her bio. You should see the photo on her bio. Where Mimi Nita Chocha. Okay. Yvonne is a HR entrepreneur with over 10 years experience in leading startups that look to address challenges faced by both talent and employers in finding, establishing, and retaining sustainable employee-employer relationships that are the backbone of success for great companies. Yvonne, I can't say more than that. Can you take it away? Karibu sana, Yvonne.
Wow, thanks so much, Maureen. This has been so amazing. I absolutely love your energy. That was such a great warm welcome. Yeah, it's an absolute honor to speak to the next movers, around the world. You guys being here, is a great step to position yourself for career success. Thank you so much for making time. If you're joining us via Zoom, Facebook, YouTube, I think Twitter as well. I'm not too sure, but yeah, karibuni sana. Jesse, Mwenesi, Allan, it's such a great pleasure to meet you today. I'm so glad to be sharing the stage with you guys and, sharing whatever knowledge, we've gathered over the year, with the audience. Yeah, to Maureen and the team at Centonomy, you guys are doing an amazing job. Just in case you've not been told, we are so proud, of the efforts that you are making. Great. Now, before we get started, maybe I'd just like to get some ground rules before we proceed. Thank you so much. The first ground rule was actually to mute your mics. I'm so glad that everyone is following that rule. We've been we've had Zoom now in our lives for quite a while. This would have actually been like a problem 2 years ago. We were just like, oh my gosh, guys, Allan, can you mute your Jesse? Mute. We'd be all about, muting for like about 10 minutes. But I'm so glad that everyone has gotten with the program, yeah? Then again, if you have any questions, kindly, again, type them on the chat box. If it's a burning one, you can raise your hand and Maureen will notify me, yeah? Then this is something I really want you guys to promise that this will be an interactive session. I really want us to participate. I intend to learn from you guys as well. So it's not just about me giving you guys, you know, stuff. It's also, I also want to receive. So let's participate. Let's interact. Yeah. Then if you need my presentation at the end of my session, kindly just drop your email on the chat box. Then Maureen, kindly, if you can, collect them for me and she will forward them to me and I will send it to you. Great. I'm glad that we are all in agreement now. Maureen so graciously introduced me, and I really think, though, it's very important for you to understand, you know, where it all started. Yeah. So growing up, I really always wanted to help. Yeah. It made me very, very happy helping people. I was one of those kids, you know, who would not laugh when someone fell. Like, okay, the exception was my brothers, like them, they can fall as in for real. I would just laugh, yeah. But like, anyway, back in kindergarten, back in primary, I always wanted to be like a nursery kindergarten teacher. I always loved spending time with kids. I'm the type of person who would go to my younger cousins and, you know, really help them, even teach them how to walk. You know, I'm just that type of a person. I'd say maybe a nurturer. Is there a word like that? I don't know. Like I'm someone who nurtures. Yeah. So then that dream transformed. You know, when I got to high school, I'm like, I think I want to be a doctor. Yeah. But then biology had other plans for me. Yeah. I'm those type of people. I'm the person who used to get 32%, like a constant, whether I studied or, you know, or I didn't put in any effort, like 32% was my absolute standard. And you know what, I actually realized when I was like, you know what, in Form 12, like, you know, whatever, I'm dropping it anyway. So I am not going to do anything about it. So yeah, I had to bow out of my doctor dream. And then when it got time for university, I actually went and did law, but I did it for 1 year. Yeah, so it has actually been a journey. I did it for 1 year because I just found it like it was too much. Like it was not for me. So as I was in university for that 1 year, my auntie actually got me a 6-month job, a 6-month contract job at her place of work. And it was as a communication assistant. Yeah. So, and that really, I would say, was my aha moment, you know, finally light at the end of the tunnel. It fits so right. And I absolutely loved it. So fast forward 9 years, after working in customer service, after working in marketing and PR departments in different organizations, I started my entrepreneurship journey. Yeah. So, I mean, everyone has a story. Yeah. I've not even told you guys half of it. We probably need like a coffee date or something. Yeah. But at the very core, we have our strengths, we have our passions, and we have our values. Yeah. And unfortunately, you know, the older we get and the what can I say? The things that we go through, you know, in life, sometimes circumstances really force us to put our visions and our dreams, you know, at a backseat, and we end up forgetting who we really are. So I'd say that at the core, I'm a helper, because I mean, if you think about it, in primary, I wanted to be a kindergarten teacher. In high school, I wanted to be a doctor, another helping profession. And then I got into law, which is another helping profession. And then, you know, I went through all the series of careers, yeah, which I'm actually a marketer by profession. Like that is what I actually studied. Yeah, but I ended up here now as, you know, as a career strategist, really, you know, helping people find purpose and being fulfilled in their careers, yeah, as a career strategist. So really, that is me in a nutshell. I founded StaffScout about, I'd say, how long has it been? About 8 years ago. And it has been an amazing journey of, you know, helping guys get jobs, helping guys realize their purpose, helping guys, you know, change their mindsets really around their careers, around entrepreneurship and all that. Yeah, I'm actually also an alumni of the of Centonomy, the entrepreneurship branch. Though I forget how you have branded it, but yes, I'm actually one of you guys. Yeah, so which is great. I think now this is how I want us to run this session. Today, we will be building a house, yeah? So my plan is to get to a point where, we have a comfortable, habitable home, and this is how we're going to do it. I think I should share my screen. Just a minute, tafadhali. Maureen, kindly confirm that you can.
Yes, I can see it.
Great, thank you. I'm just trying to, oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, guys, so today we're going to be covering these topics. Let me see, how do I? Great, okay. These are the topics we're going to be covering, yeah? So we're going to cover the importance of knowing your strengths and passions, which is our foundation, yeah? I've told you we are building a house today. So this is the foundation, yeah? Then we move on to the common resume mistakes. After that, we go on to online profiles. So this is professional online profiles and also, our social media, yeah, basically. And then networking strategies. And finally, we will do the finishings within the house. And that will be our interviews, right? So, great. So as I said, yeah, I've already introduced myself. Yeah, so hi, my name is Yvonne. I am a marketer / lawyer / customer service / restaurant owner. Oh yeah, one of my businesses was actually, I owned a restaurant at some point. So it's like I've said, I told you guys, I'm not even done, like I've not told you half of my story, but yeah, because of time, this session would normally take 2 hours. However, I have been given 30 minutes. I will try my best, my absolute best to fit this in. And that includes a question and answer session. Yeah, great. So I'll move fast. Just in case you need help, questions, Maureen will be there to sort you out and notify me. Yeah. So let's start at self-awareness. I said we're starting at the foundation. Yeah. So as my story, as you guys, I've just mentioned my story and told you so much about, where it all started. And that's where I think it's best for us to start. It's always so important to understand, number one, what are you good at? Like what's at the core of you? What is it that you're good at? Yeah. What are some of the things that you need to improve on? So I know that I'm good at, all I know is that I'm good at helping. I love talking. I am a storyteller. I love hanging around people. So those are the qualities that I know I have. Yeah. So I said, fine. Okay. So if I want to help guys get jobs and I want to be a trainer, facilitator, then fine. What do I need to accomplish? I need to accomplish that I need to be a good communicator, right? I was not a good communicator. And especially when it came now to this era of COVID and I had to speak to guys on the screen. And, just like this session, most of you are actually not on camera. So I have this feeling like I'm talking to myself, yeah? And even it got to a point where I was like, once before I started doing my TikTok videos, when I've put my camera right in front of me and I'm like, gosh, Yvonne, like, seriously, what are you doing? Like, who are you talking to? There's always that feeling of, oh my gosh. And I would shelve it until one of my best friends would like, you know what, Yvonne, just do it. Like, I mean, there's no harm. There's no one who you have to, it's not as hard as speaking to people one-on-one, but for me, it's actually opposite. I prefer talking to someone. I'm able to see their reaction. I'm able to, to be aware of how they're taking this information, right? And then what are you most proud of so far? And what do you hope to accomplish in future. Yeah, there's a quote, who was it? Who said this quote? Knowing you helps you to develop your skills. I forget his name, but yeah, which is absolutely true. If you have no idea who you are, then, I mean, how do you expect to know what you want in life? Yeah, as I said, I started this very clearly and deliberately to show you that, to show you where I have come from to get to the point at which I am now. Great. Now we have worked on our foundation. Let's go up now and build our walls. Yeah. So we have found out who we are. We are so sure. We are like, yes, I'm someone who doesn't prefer working in a team. Yeah. I'm someone who just wants to sit in the office, behind the screen and actually work. Fine. We figured that out. Higher. Next, we build our resume. Yeah. So on the chat box, I'd like you guys to tell me, would you know the difference between a resume and a CV? Very quickly. Anyone? And I can, by the way, I'll call on people. Let me just see. And then please unmute yourself and answer. Sawa. Let's go with, let's see. Cynthia Wamba. Like, I've literally just picked anyone. Who would know the difference between a resume and a CV, or is it actually the same thing?
There's some responses in the chat box as well.
Okay, let's go ahead before Cynthia.
All right, Cynthia, as you prepare yourself, Eda says resume is shorter. Mm-hmm. David Musia says thought they are the same. Mm-hmm. And then Jacinta Aniso says resume is 2 pages or less. CV is longer, more than 2 pages. I think Canon, can you let us know your name? You're hiding behind the buzz. Milka Osiako says they are the same. And then, Caroline says they are the same as well. So Joseph says resume is 1 page. Probably Cynthia is ready. Are you ready, Cynthia? Can you unmute yourself?
She must be shy. Cynthia, are you ready? By the way, guys, I'm going to be ambushing you like that. So be prepared, guys. Anyway, for the sake of time, let's move on, yeah? The guys who say that a resume is shorter and CV is longer is absolutely correct. But why is a CV longer, yeah? A CV is longer because you put in all the details of your work history, all the details of your education history. Like literally, it is what you use to edit so that you get a resume. Make sense? Yeah. So we have to ultimately strive to have a resume and not a CV. Yeah. Because I say this because we as recruiters go through, in a week, I go through about, I'd say 100 CVs, and that is very modest, yeah? My team would go through way more than I do, yeah? Because I concentrate mostly on the trainings. So around 100 CVs, yes? In 5 days. On Saturday, we do our free CV reviews. So I'm just talking about Monday to Friday. So 100 CVs divided by 5. Those are 20 CVs per day, yeah? Now, if you have a CV that's, let's say, 3 pages or more, for real, like there's no time I have to go through each and every point within your CV. And that is just the honest truth. We are trying to work smart, and the way for us to do that is really to just peruse and pick out the keywords. So that's number one. Your resume has to have keywords. That's one thing that a lot of resumes don't have. You see at the top, there's a long list. So someone has written name, marital status, gender, PO box. Like they've written so many irrelevant information, yeah, that really wastes a lot of great resume real estate, yeah. So number one, let's ensure that our resumes are short, yeah. If you're a fresh graduate, 1 page, yeah. If you are someone who has been, you're in mid-level, you're in the mid-level of your career, 2 pages should be sufficient. And if you are an executive, director, executive, 3 pages. I mean, we understand. the amount of value that they have created to get to that point is quite high, right? Okay, so I'm glad we've got that on check. Now, so again, CVs are more extensive. A CV includes the full extent of your academic credentials and professional experience, just as I had mentioned. Yeah, great. Now, before we get there, what do you think are the highest rate? What is the highest rate of mistakes that we as recruiters receive on, on a daily? What do you think is actually the thing that the biggest mistake we see in CVs? Kindly note it down on the chat box. Formatting, spelling, unnecessary information, grammatical errors, grammar, let's see. Anyone else? Template, necessary information. Having our JDs instead of irrelevant info, false referees. Oh my gosh, really? Disorganized details, irrelevant. Okay, picture. Wow. Okay, great. This is nice. Gilbert is raising his hand. I don't know if we can unmute him. I don't know if it's a burning question. Gilbert?
Let me try to see if I can. He had posted a question in the chat, and they responded to it. Yeah.
Okay, great. Okay, just put down your hand if just in case you don't like you're done with asking your question. Great. CV not tailored. Okay, great. Thank you so much, guys. Yeah. This is actually the mistakes that we have seen, and this is based off 100 CVs received in January. So one of those weeks that I observed, I was going through CVs. This is what we see, and it's actually it's what we see in majority of the CVs that we have. So the people who say grammatical errors, you are absolutely right. And this is even, oh my gosh, guys, like you see, as recruiters, we cannot forward a CV that has grammatical errors because that makes us look bad, right? So it's not even about us not liking, we don't want to see grammatical errors. We just don't want, as a business, we do not want to look like we don't know what we are doing. So if you're not able to, ensure that you go through your CV, give it to a third party, let them go through it, as in, yes, and sometimes by the way, even after you do all that, there'll still be an error, yeah? But at least you'll have done due diligence to ensure that they're not silly mistakes and they're not at the first third of your CV, because that is actually literally the most important part. Then the next is not tailoring your CV to a specific role. So what you guys mostly do, you have one general CV, right? And you're just spraying and praying that one of them sticks, yeah? We cannot do that. Like, guys, we need to change. Let's change that habit of not literally being intentional. I love what Jesse mentioned, and he kept saying it over and over again about being intentional about our, about the steps that we are taking. Yeah. So we need to tailor. It's a lot of work. It really is. But again, if you do it over and over again, it becomes so simple. And by the way, you will not even have to do it over and over again. You'll definitely see better results. These are things that we have done. I've done this for years, guys, and I've seen that it actually works. So for instance, tailoring, what does it mean? If, for instance, a company uses the term, let's say you're looking for an internship, and a company uses the word fellows instead of interns, then tailor your CV to read fellows. Yeah? You get it? Great. Now, again, not focusing on achievements. So really what you're writing is, I sold phones in shop X. I spoke to customers on a daily. I'm just thinking as a customer service agent. Whatever customers, like literally you're just writing down your JD. Yeah, that is another mistake that we are making. We already have sent you a JD of what this potential job entails. So we don't want to see that. Fine, you can start it by, I sold X number of phones, resulting in a 20% increase in sales. So that's the achievement. You are able to save time, you are able to increase sales, you are able to You trained people, start your sentences with an active verb. So achieved, led, whatever, collaborated and stuff like that. Always start your sentences within your CV with an active verb. Poor formatting. Oh my gosh, guys. I always talk about like when something is supposed to look nice, it's called what? Aestheticity. Someone please correct me. Aestheticity of the beauty of a CV. Like you really want to look at a CV and be like, wow, yeah, I actually love how this CV looks. The name is there in bold. You've written down your where you're from, which is just probably Nairobi, Kisumu, Eldoret, not literally like your exact location. You've put down your LinkedIn profile link. You have put in your telephone number very clearly and a very good email address, right? And then, of course, people put wrong contact information, and this comes as a result of not going through your CV. So there's wrong phone numbers, and on top of that, people, using like, there's once I actually saw an email address that read big bust girl at gmail or something like that. Yeah, guys, as in for real, why? Like, why? I know these are some of the emails that we set up when we were in high school, and we're just like, yeah, I mean, like, yay, I have a big bust, like, so I might as well. No, let's not. Just be professional. Yeah, some of these things, these small details are the ones that are actually preventing you from getting ahead. Okay, great. We are done with the walls. Let's go to roofing. Yeah, we are branding ourselves online. Yeah, so Dave Bach said, your brand is a gateway to your true work. You are here to do something, to create something or help others in some way. The question is, how can you set up your life and work so that you can do it? The answer lies in your brand. When you create a compelling brand, you attract people who want the promise of your brand, which you deliver. And that's exactly what you are. Yeah, so I want to speak about some of the mistakes that we make when we are branding ourselves. I really cannot go into the details of how to brand yourself or how to create your LinkedIn profile. That will take, I need a full hour. Yeah, but these are some of the mistakes, the common mistakes that we see when online, and when we are looking through your profiles as we are trying to, even trying to headhunt or even trying to look, to place for one of our clients. So I think one of the speakers at the beginning, when the promotional videos were going on, she said that we need to think of ourselves as a brand, which is absolutely true. Like, you think of yourself as a company, you as Yvonne, you as Brian, you as whoever, like, think of yourself as a brand. Yeah. How are you going to promote this brand? How are you going to put yourself out there so that you promote your brand? So for instance, like on LinkedIn, do you think it's necessary to put your picture? Guys, let me know on the chat. Is it necessary? Not your picture, sorry, not your picture. Is it necessary to put personal information? Like how you share stories about your children, stories about, you just post a picture of you with your friends. Like, okay, is it necessary? Do you think it's actually necessary? Nope, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not necessary. No. It depends. Someone said it depends on something. I want to see that one. Gosh, they're going so fast. Maureen, are you able to find that one? Someone had said, it depends. Oh my gosh, I've lost it. Oh my gosh.
It depends. It depends with it. Okay, I think it depends. It's within what context.
Okay.
It depends on the context. Yes.
LinkedIn is a totally no. It depends. It depends. Okay, Lucy Gitchuhi. Let's see. Why do you say it depends? It would be interesting to know. Why does it depend? All
right, let me see if I can make a co-host so that she can unmute, because the format we're using.
Oh, you need to. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. But I'll do that. I'll do that even as you read through the comments.
Okay. I don't think it is. Personally, my LinkedIn profile is professional. Yes, Lucy, thank you so much. Go ahead.
Thank you for this opportunity. I think it depends on, for example, if your branding is, I'm thinking a home management person, or your branding or the work you do is, I don't know, to orient families or family consultation. I think, I mean, if you show or you give tips on how to go about different things in the family, that is who you are, or that is what you do, then I think yes. But if you're a CEO or a marketer of vehicles, I don't think it has anything to do with what I did with my family this weekend. I think so.
Okay, now imagine a situation where, like, there's this CEO or this salesperson or whatever, yeah, and maybe they've taken a photo of them holding their baby, and they're telling you a story like, yes, I mean, this is my baby at 2 years old. I'm so proud of the sacrifices that I have made. I'm just here to encourage someone that just in case, they're going through it right now, they need to know that, in the end, it is actually worth it. Something like that. Is that a good example of putting your personal business online, or it's still a no? What do you think? Nicola says too much information. Anyone else? What do you guys think? Lucy, I was actually talking to you. For that situation, do you think it's actually relevant?
It depends what you think what relevant is, because, for example, if you are the position that you hold and it also shows that you are a person, I think, well, personally, I'm someone who looks at the person, and you're able to see the human person behind the CEO, behind this boss, behind this manager. So sometimes if me as an employee sees that in someone else who is my boss, someone maybe I think doesn't have a family, doesn't care about families, and I see that and I actually understand. Sometimes it could be, but not just to share information like in Instagram or in Facebook. I think we'll have to differentiate.
To back it up.
Yes.
Okay. If that's the case, then a different platform, maybe not LinkedIn. It's unprofessional. Hey, you guys are good. Oh my God! But one can use their Facebook for that. Family work balance, maybe. Oh my gosh, guys. Okay. By the way, my personal opinion is just do you. Do you, as long as it's in line with your brand, as long as it's accomplishing what it needs to accomplish. Yeah. At the end of the day, that's what you need to do. Is it getting you closer to your goal? Then just do it. Like, we really can't now tell people, don't put such information. I mean, of course, there are standards, and there are things that, you really cannot put. There are some things that are Instagram worthy, or TikTok worthy, and that are not LinkedIn worthy. But at the end of the day, just be yourself. Yeah, be yourself and back whatever you have up. Yeah, my opinion. I mean, no one has to follow it, but that's what I think. Yeah, I don't know if anyone agrees with me. If you do, just type yes, or if you don't, say no. Yeah, great. Now, so aside from that, as you guys are commenting, so we've thought of ourselves as a brand. Yes, so me as Yvonne Shasuvila, I am a brand. Cindy. Now, how do I monitor this brand online? Yeah, how do I ensure that what I am posting? So yes, I've posted about my kid who has turned 2. Yeah, am I monitoring the feedback that I'm getting? How am I leveraging on top of that? How am I leveraging on that? Yeah, what am I doing with those comments? What am I doing with those likes? What am I doing with the feedback I'm getting from posting that online? Yeah, again, guys, we need to be consistent about communicating, especially on LinkedIn. Now we're talking about careers. Yeah, we're talking about really progressing into the next level, because the internet never forgets. Like, Google never forgets. Yeah, you'll do something today, and like what I've written on the side there, online business is, online branding, is a tricky business. Yeah, it takes years to build and seconds to tarnish. Like, this is an election year. guys will be talking about their own opinions, and that is like such a big no-no, unless you're being, I mean, you're allowed to take a side, but you know, balance, yeah? We really can't just go all out and bash one person and, you know, really be not racist, but tribalistic. And, you know, we as recruiters are looking, and we're on the lookout, yeah, for this. Another thing that I see a lot of job seekers not doing is having a call to action, especially on the about section of your LinkedIn. You know, like once you've written quite a bit about yourself, at the end, you can reach me on and give your email address. Yeah, it doesn't have to even be a phone number. Give an email address that someone can easily reach out to you. Great, we're done with the roof, guys. Yeah, we are moving quickly. As I said, this session usually takes me about, for one of the bits, takes me about 1.5 to 2 hours. So we really have to rush. I'm sorry about that, guys. Great, so these are some of the mistakes that I've seen people making, especially when it comes to LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is like the mother of all networking and you know, professional online platforms. Yeah. So number one, having no profile photo, or you know, like your profile is not public. So if it's not public, we can't see your profile photo. I mean, what's the point? Because I already have your CV that, by the way, does not have a photo. Let's just get that straight now. No photos, guys, on your WhatsApp, on your LinkedIn, or not on your LinkedIn, gosh, sorry, on your resumes. Yeah, no photos, absolutely. Great. So let's now put a professional photo on our LinkedIn. Yeah. What are some of the reasons, if you don't have a photo on LinkedIn, what are some of the reasons that you do not have one, by the way? Does everyone here have LinkedIn?
I'm curious to know that, Yvonne, as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does everyone have a LinkedIn, by the way, a LinkedIn profile? Let's start there. And if you do you have a profile photo? If you don't, why? Alpha Mitch, get one ASAP, quickly. What? As if we should not have a photo? Yes, as if we should not have a photo. Absolutely not. Please, they're discarded. And especially if a company uses the applicant tracking system, for sure, guys, it will be discarded. It won't even get past that robot. You know, the goal is to get past the robot, yeah, aka the applicant tracking system, and move to actually your CV to actually be seen by a human being. Yeah, so don't. I do, and it has a profile picture. Is there anyone who has said that they don't? Resume, no photo. Everyone asking, resume, no. 20s or photos, remove them. No photo, or are you seeing this clip art on my presentation? Even that, no. It should not have that at all. Yes, I don't have a profile picture. There's someone said I don't have a. Barbara Balirain. Is it that you don't have a photo, or you don't have a LinkedIn profile? No, even creative resumes, no, they should not have. By the way, no, even if you're a creative. No photos. Absolutely, for no one, guys. Okay. I don't know if anyone has, I don't know, should the photo on LinkedIn be professional, like a studio one? Not necessarily. It didn't have to be a studio photo. Yeah, literally. Now with phones, you can actually just take a very nice photo and post it. Yeah, you don't have to go to a studio for that. How about the background picture on LinkedIn? Yes, that is actually one of the header, you mean? Is that the one you're talking about? The header? Yes, if it is, then for sure, it's great to have a header. And that is just like a preview, you know, to who you are as a person. So it could just be a picture, it could be a quote, it could be, you know, anything that says more about you. Yeah. Okay, great. Let's continue. A non-selling headline. Headline is at the point right below your name. Yeah. So most people, what I see they do, they write like Maureen, what's your second name again? I forget.
Radoli.
So like writing Maureen Radoli. Then under Maureen Radoli, she writes marketing manager at Centonomy, full stop. It doesn't say much, guys. For real, let me tell you something. When we are searching for people on LinkedIn, when we are headhunting, one of the places that picks, one of the filters, let's say we're searching for a marketing person, yeah? Or we're searching for someone who has certain skills in marketing. So they've done some digital, they have done some above the line, marketing. Those are the things, as in it picks first from there, from this headline, right under your name. So this is how I like to do it. Like mine, I've written, if you're a marketer, write marketer. Then number 2, then have that horizontal separator. Then after that, write maybe digital marketing, separate it. All your key skills, the key skills that you're really good at, that's what we want to see under your name, yeah? It's great that you work at Centonomy. It's great that you work wherever you work or whatever, yeah? You could also write again, like aspiring, if you're a fresh graduate, aspiring mechanical engineer, then go ahead and put down all the key skills that you have, yeah? Great. Next is having an irrelevant or no about section. Maureen, how many minutes do I have? Yeah.
You have about 5 more minutes to go.
Oh my gosh, guys, we need to rush. We'll finish. All the questions will be asked at the end now, yeah?
All right,
so,
okay,
yes, an irrelevant or no about section, yeah? So this section really, guys, it's a powerful section, yeah? Make sure, don't talk about yourself in the third. Don't say, Maureen is a no, as in that's just super awkward. Let's not, yeah? Then another thing is using buzzwords. A team player, fast learner. Let's not do that, yeah? And this goes for also the resume. Let's not use such terms. Show me, how are you a team player, yeah? So worked with a great team of people to achieve X. That already shows that you're a team player. You collaborated with a finance team to do what. In terms of fast learner, mention timelines. Yeah, great. Too much or too little activity. This is obvious, guys. Like, let's take time, as in create a schedule. Whether you say that it is once a week, every Monday morning before I start work, before I do anything, I'm going to post something on LinkedIn. I'm going to post something that is relevant to what I do. Great. Oh, guys, we need to move. Next, we are moving into now. We've gone into, where are we on our house now? We've done roofing, now we are inside, we're doing the electricals, yeah? So great, networking. Yeah, oh my gosh, like guys, I need more time. Yeah, so let's start by reaching out to people who we know, yeah? This could be your teachers. This could be people like us, Yvonne, Maureen, Centonomy team. Reach out to people who you know to help you in this journey. Like, you can't do this alone, guys. It's hard. It's so hard. Like, and I can't say that I have been in a position where I have been job hunting. And that's literally because I really knew some of these tricks quite early. And it's not because I read about it anywhere. No, it's just, I don't know, somehow by instinct, I knew that I need to do these things. And that's why I'm here teaching you guys, yeah? Be open to meeting new people. And this speaks even for the introverts, like just go out there, try your best, yeah? Seeking out opportunities to network. This is actually a very, very great opportunity to network. Reach out to us, reach out to people who are willing to listen, yeah? Ask a lot of questions. And this networking is actually not just about what you can get, but also ask, people like asking me, so Yvonne, how has your journey been? Like, people like answering such questions. You get like, how is it, Maureen? Hey, tell me about Centonomy. How is it working in marketing? Ebu, tell me, I really need to know, don't make it just to be about you. And then obviously follow up and stay in touch. We are now doing the finishing, nyumba, yeah? These are some of the most common interview mistakes. I've done so many interviews, guys, and these are actually my main ones. Like, this is not even internet mistakes. These are actually mistakes that I have seen personally. So not dressing the part. Ladies, dressing in spaghetti strap, tops, wearing very, very short skirts. No, like I know we are moving into a new age and all that, but first impressions, lasting impression. Yeah. Again, not doing enough research on the company. I've mentioned to you previously, like which company is hiring, and I ask you, so what does this company do? Oh yeah, they actually just do something on. No, guys, be confident and know what exactly this company does. Then bad nonverbal communication. So you're looking at your nails, you look confused, like you're just not having it, you're pissed off, like, no, please, let's just, like, you need this as well. Yeah, put in the effort. Not being on time, that's a very, very common one. Another thing, which is absolutely common that most people forget to do, is to send the thank you note after the interview. By the way, guys, this has a huge, huge impact on whether you proceed to the next stage of the interview. People are always like, wow, oh my gosh, you're so welcome. Like I find myself talking to my screen, like, yeah, you're welcome. Let's just give them another chance. Even if the person was not absolutely the best, at least they've said thank you, Then another thing, with online interviews now happening, there's poor internet connection. Those interviews are scheduled. Sometimes you have back-to-back interviews. Ensure that you have a proper internet connection. And then another thing is not asking questions at the end of it. This is also a really big turnoff because it means you're not curious. But then again, don't ask any random question that you'd have found on the website. Yeah, ask questions that you will not find on the website. Oh my gosh, guys, I don't know if I'll even be able to go through these ones. So I'll just tell you the common areas, yeah, of the questions that we usually ask or companies ask. So now that we have COVID, they're actually pandemic related questions. Yeah. So questions such as when working remotely, how do you manage your day? Yeah. Where do you see the future of your career in these times? These are, as in, they can catch you off guard, but sometimes it's just supposed to be a conversation. So you're actually allowed to be like, actually, that's a very interesting question. Yeah. Yeah. And you explain, how your industry has been affected and what you've learned and how it's going to look in the new normal. Yeah. So then there, of course, the common interview questions. These you can find online. Like you can literally research these ones online. But I see the ones that are asked almost all the time is tell me about yourself. So this is obviously about making sure that you have your elevator pitch ready. You ensure that, like, this is literally a pitch where if you're waking up in the middle of the night, you know what you're going to say. Hi, my name is Yvonne. I have experience. I am passionate about going forward. I hope to achieve right? Great. Describe a challenge or conflict you had and how you overcame it. Yeah. So this, of course, is very common. You have to use the STAR method of answering. Yeah. So describe the challenge, explain the steps that you took to overcome them, and conclude with a positive outcome. Always conclude with a positive outcome. Yeah. Another section that is asked quite often is on culture or value related questions. This usually is mostly in the second or third even interview. So they'll ask you about leadership related questions or random questions like what are you reading? What inspires you? Of course, yeah, there are so many other questions to ask. Great, guys. I have literally come to the end. I'm sorry for really rushing this session. Yeah. But I'll finish up by saying that, guys, now you know what these common mistakes are we are making in these steps that we need to take. Those are the 5 literal steps that we need to take to ensure that, we are upgrading. Yeah. So go and make new mistakes. Don't make these old ones that we have talked about. And there we have our beautiful, beautiful house. Maureen, I don't know that you can give me 3 minutes for the Q&A so that guys can, I don't know if there are any questions, just 3 minutes. We can
probably can do 2, just 2 minutes.
2? Yeah, maybe. 2 minutes. Yeah, okay. 2 minutes.
I've seen so many people have actually shared their email addresses. I'll definitely share that with you. So there's a question from David Buluma. Let me see. There's a question mark there. Comments are really coming in so fast. You guys, recruiters, how do you detect lies? I've lost it again.
Oh my gosh, guys. The comments
right.
are coming in so fast.
So fast, and guys are so excited. Thank you for the amazing presentation. So David Buluma, okay, how do you detect lies? I have once crafted lies from a start to an end and succeeded. Wow. Okay.
Sorry, at what point? Is this during the interview or what do you mean? I'm guessing.
David,
Let me answer it as if it was.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Should I answer it as if it was in an interview?
Yes.
Okay. David, by the way, it's very hard. Some of you are perfect liars. Like, hey, by the way, some of you can lie. But when a lot of companies hiring right now are hiring for value. They're not just hiring for the sake of hiring. You will struggle. Like, you will really, really struggle when it comes to the actual job. So please, no lies. Like, just tell the truth. Yeah. Show your value. That is what I can tell you. Just show your value. There are things that you're really, really good at. And that's that's how I want you to plug in. Yeah.
All right. So Yvonne,
okay.
I need to cut you short. Guys, do
fine.
this. And I don't want you to leave either. Please put those questions in the question and answer chat, because there's a place you can ask your questions and Yvonne will be here to respond to all the questions. Guys, isn't this value? Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you for offering value. And just before, Mwenesi will not make it. He's just gotten a quick call somewhere, so he wasn't going to make it. But we'll be having a session with Mwenesi. I know Juliet Wamboi is going to be sharing that with you, even as she shares a thank you email with you. But I have Allan Muturi in the room, and Allan is going to share with us his experience. And then, of course, I can go ahead and share with you what Mwenesi would perhaps have shared with us during his presentation. Yvonne, we are having that coffee for sure. Karibu, Allan. Take it away, Allan.
Thank you so much, Maureen. Thank you so much, Yvonne, Jesse. It's a pleasure really to share one platform with you guys. Maureen, I kind of feel we need a season, like a season 2 of the same, because it's been quite interesting. Yvonne, the questions you've really shared have been still impactful. And Jesse, you know, it's quite interesting how you get to still continue learning even after Centonomy. So a little bit about myself. My name is Allan Muturi. I'm an IT, would I say consultant or an IT engineer as of now. I've been at it for the last 6.5 years. And let me just say, it's been a very interesting journey all through. So why did I decide to take up Centonomy? I think Jesse also mentioned it, and Yvonne, the pandemic started in 2020. Now we were here and a lot of things shifted. So July last year, 2021, here I was just trying to think about, am I really doing a job or am I really in a career, right? And what was quite interesting was I was really getting better at what I do. I was continuously getting promoted at one point or another, but there was something that was lacking from internal for me, right? Was what is the drive for in the next 10 years? I used to think about it from a year by year basis. And what that meant was every time it was a surprise. When you get promoted, you're like, really? You know, the good work has been seen. And it's not something that you're really intentional about. And something that I've also learned today is intentionality. It was something that was repeated consistently during our classes. You'd start and, are you intentional about it? This was the first class we had. And interesting enough, the first class we had Mr. Mwenesi. That was a class that I went down, really thought about it. It was on a Saturday, I remember, between 9 and 12. The way you're like, after 12, I'll go out and things like that. I actually sat down and I thought to myself, am I really making boss moves? And by boss moves, what did that mean? It was actually not becoming a boss. It was, am I really strategic in everything that I do? So we were given the definition of what is the difference between a career and a job. And today, Yvonne has also brought in a very good aspect. What is the difference between a resume and a CV? This is something that we were told during those classes. And it was phenomenal. You know, before you would sit down and be like, CV, resume, same thing, you know? But then once you go through the classes, which is a 7-week impactful, I must say impactful, because it was every Saturday, 9 to 12, we'd all join in. I managed to do this season 16, and I'm really proud of the classmates I had. Imagine a class of very different people. I do IT, you have a marketer, you have a salesperson, everybody with their different capabilities, you all now come into one class. So when I started out the career session, what for me was, I was coming in to just listen, you know, just tell myself, I'll be listening. It's a class where you're given assignments, nobody checks. So I was like, I'll flow through it. Then you get into class one, just as what Yvonne did. Then your tutor of that, or lecturer of that, just mentions your name. And they're like, could you unmute? You're like, okay, what do I say? What do I say? That was the most interesting bit. So you had to be really, you had to engage in that session, and you had to engage also your fellow classmates during that time. And we had one impactful WhatsApp group as well. That is something that I really enjoyed. It wasn't just a Saturday thing. During the week, somebody posts something, they found about it, and you would still go ahead and be able to really look into what they have exactly done. So Career Hub was a phenomenal discussion altogether. It was a phenomenal course. And why do I say a discussion? It's because every day you had to make sure you get yourself very impactful while at it. And so what stood out for me during the 7 weeks? One, we used to keep time, right? Like, it made me realize every Saturday I had to commit for 7 continuous weeks. That is something I dedicated myself to, and I was ready to go through it. What is the other thing that really stood out for me? I didn't have to have all the money at the same time. You know, people would only see the given when you're told it's 20,000 or whatever value it's at. You'd sit down and ask yourself, will I really have the money? But they gave us an option of paying week by week, right? And that was something that, you know, it's workable for the people who have to budget or have to see their money exiting slowly from their accounts. That is a very good thing that actually stood out. And 3, and for me, is how relatable the sessions were. Today, you might have, we call them lecturers, but they were not coming to tell us what to do. They were actually coming to class and asking you, like, what Yvonne has done. What do you think? And you would see a whole list of different variations of thinking. And it also opened my mind to look at it from, it doesn't have to be the same way, you know, it doesn't have to be how Allan thinks. Maybe today we have a different opinion, somebody raises a different opinion, and I couldn't just say it's wrong, because there's no right or wrong answer, as everybody would say. So it is a session where you get to interact with people, you get to really understand how different people think. And it actually made me appreciate being from the technical industry, where we sit behind computers. You'll have a marketer, you'll have a salesperson who is continuously standing out. You know, that was something that is really key for us. And so what is, again, the beauty of you doing this program? One, it makes you become intentional about it, right? It makes you become intentional about your life. I stopped living life to chance. And I remember we were told hope is not the best strategy. And I was like, okay, but you know, we need to be hopeful. But yeah, it's not a strategy. Being hopeful is good, but it's not a strategy I could use. If you ask me a question, I just hope, no, that's not a strategy if it required me to do that. And then for me also, it's about personal branding. I remember after the 7-week session, when we graduated on the 21st of August, 2021, I sat down and I was like, what next? I've been through a 7th session. My family probably knows I've been through this session. They're like, we're expecting Boss Moves from the next week. Then you realize, okay, the next week, things are not changing as fast. But one thing that came to mind was I had to sit down and also plan myself as Allan. What do I want to achieve? Write it down. Because we kept on being told, write it down. It's something very few people do, but it's something that can do phenomenal to your life. Write it down, stick it in somewhere you actually see it. And what is your personal brand? I remember, keep it real and be 100%, right? And also accountability counts. Yvonne has mentioned, and it's also a question that was raised. If you lie, right? You lie, you get the job. Then once you're in the job, your ability definitely counts. Now you do not have anything. You're inside the door, as everybody likes saying. But once you're there, your boss keeps on now looking, okay, and the CV does not disappear, remember. It's an online profile. So They're like, Allan said they could do this. I'm not seeing it, right? And it catches up with you. So for me, that is something that really stood out. And again, know your strengths, right? We oftenly give ourselves or hit ourselves so hard, and Jesse really mentioned that. You're there telling myself, but I'm not growing. You expect to grow in a day or two, you know, but it's a journey. Up until today, every single time I get to revise on the same, I really sit down and look at it from, am I really growing, right? And over this time, since I graduated, I would say I've managed to change jobs while at it. I work at a different company right now. And it's been phenomenal. And you can actually see now when you sit down, even to set up your goals with your boss, it's different. It's not them telling you and you're just ticking boxes. Yes, there's a certain job role and this is the JD, but you know, you sit down, discuss with them, tell them this is where the tweak I think we need to have, and you notice it starts standing out. So for me, this course, I would say, has been what I would term a life-changing course. And we started with Centonomy from way back. I've been in different of their classes, and it's quite something where you see, you look at it, you're seeing growth year on year. And that's the final thing I would like to say, right? Every day, anything you do to yourself or invest in yourself, don't look at it to immediately give you returns, because it's a lifeline investment. And people will say when you invest in yourself, it's something you'll never lose, right? So always continuously track yourself, celebrate the wins, right? Like the way they say it, know your strength, celebrate the wins. If today you've gotten a compliment from your boss, nice job, write it down, because those things usually come in handy when things are not going so well. You're like, but I was told nice dressing, like Jesse said it, right? Like nice dressing. So when I'm dressed nicely, I can actually attest to it, right? That there was one time I was actually, and get back to it. So consistently keep on with what you're doing. So for me, I would say it was a course we even asked during our season, is there like a level 2 of the same? Because the interactions were out of this world. Meeting different people, for me, is something that stood out. So thank you very much, Maureen. I think with that, I'd definitely like to leave it there. Thank you.
Wow, Allan, I'm so proud of you. That is so amazing. The boss notes that you're making, keep on making them. And I'm so excited that everybody who came to speak today talked about intentionality. Even as we just about to conclude, and I know I'll call all the speakers to unmute their videos shortly. I want us to just look at this. This is I know Mwenesi would have actually shared this, and I know he has used this particular slide, this particular one in class. And I think, Allan, you can remember this one, yeah? So this is how the job market looks. Let me see if I can have it on the screen. Okay, great. So this is how the current job market looks. Same product. There are over 10,000 accountants. There are over 10,000 marketers. There are over 10,000 HRs that are looking for jobs every day. That means the demand is quite high. But how do you ensure that you're making a demand for your supplier? I'll leave you that question. This is exactly how the job market looks. Yvonne has said the number of CVs she gets to go through in a week, 100 CVs, that are quite too many. And I can imagine the entire company, how many CVs they get to look at every week. So how are you positioning yourself? How are you branding yourself? Do you take up your job as a career, or do you take it as just a job? Yes. So being the same is boring, and nobody wants boring. Take this home with you. Being the same is boring, and nobody wants boring, especially where right now in the world and stuff is moving pretty fast. So how do you make sure that you stand out? How do you make sure that you speak to the audience that you want to? And nobody will remember boring anyway. Nobody will remember boring. Nobody promotes boring. So make a difference. And the only way to make a difference today, we are giving you an opportunity to actually come and sign up for the Centonomy Career Hub program. I'll go ahead and just share the slide with you, even as the speakers prepare the videos just to come and give us their final remarks. Allow me to share this with you. So I went through the modules, and of course, I told you that the class begins on the 10th of March. So this is what you need to pay. Today we have a special offer. Register at 500 Kenyan shillings. And let me tell you what 500 does for you. It gets you into the very first class. If you didn't know, the first class. So pay 500 shillings. And I know Juliet, kindly share with us a link for the complimentary class that we'll have immediately after this session. I know we'll be planning to have a complimentary session, and Mwenesi Musalia will be taking us through that session. So the cost of the program is 22,350, and you only need to pay 5,700 shillings per week. That is per installment, because what can 5,700 do for you? Yes, it's a good investment. So add value, add value. So the pay bill number is right on the screen. Go to M-Pesa right now, enter the pay bill number. The pay bill number is 986850 and pay the 500 Kenyan shillings. And in the place of the account number, put your first name and the word career. Will definitely get in touch with you. Wamboi is in the room. Juliet is in the room. She's the program manager. She's the amazing lady behind this amazing conversation today. Thank you so much for putting this up. Thank you, Christine. We really appreciate you. And if you're not within Kenya, because we have had international students, thank God to this season. Let me tell you, I know there are people who are like, Corona came and it messed me up. But there are people who saw opportunities. And we are one of those people who saw opportunities, and we decided to go online. So we've had amazing people come joining the classes from all over the world. And can you imagine the kind of networks you're creating when you join up the class? So sign up today for only 500 shillings. And we have professional trainers coming in to take you through the class. So don't feel like you're bringing in. We don't have motivational speakers. We have competent trainers who come to take you through the skills. So learn how to build a personal brand, create social capital, very key in this world, in this present age. Be an ideal human resource. Remember, this is one of the promotional videos that was going around, and one of the trainers said, you are a human resource. Understand how you are a human resource. Then positioning yourself in the corporate world is very important. Then leverage your strength to advance in your careers. So I'll just leave this there, even as I invite all the speakers to turn on your videos and give us something quick, so you can just share with us. Share with us a very last comment. Share with us the last comment. If Jesse, you can turn on your video. I don't know that you've gone to report. Oh, thank God you're still here. Probably you might have had some news and you decided to go get content, because for you, content is key. Yvonne, if you're in the room, can you turn on your video? You guys have been amazing. Allan as well, can you turn on your video? And you can give us your final remarks. Thank you so much for your time. Go ahead, Jesse.
Well, thanks, Maureen. I think it's been quite an insightful and educative session. I'm also tempted to enroll, but thanks for that. I think I've really learned a lot from the other panelists as well. Yvonne coming through with the online branding tips and, small differences which make quite a big difference. CV and resume, who knew, we really have to be intentional at the end of the day. I saw one question in terms of, what was it? I think I'll come across, I just forgot it. I saw it earlier on, but thank you so much. And to those who are tuning in, this is definitely value addition. If you can sign up, definitely do that. You'll end up learning something. And I think you can take it to the bank. I've personally enjoyed this conversation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jesse. And yes, you should sign up. I'll actually follow up to make sure that you get into class. Asante sana. All right, Yvonne, go ahead.
Thank you so much, everyone, for taking the time to be here. It's been an absolute pleasure. I love doing this. This is what I live for, literally. Yeah, so I'll finish off by saying that, guys, you need to back this up. Like, literally, you cannot, you've seen how we've rushed through all this whole session. We are clearly not done. Yeah, register for this course. I mean, I am personally an alumni of Centonomy, so I know that the things that they're going to be teaching you will be value. Yeah, so you need to join in. On top of that, don't be like the 99% of people who will hear things and don't do anything. It's so easy to be successful these days. That's what I tell people. It's so easy because 99% of people will not follow through Don't be that 99. Like, don't be part of the 99% crew. Just put in a little effort every day, every single day, put in a little effort and see the results at the end of the day. Thanks, guys. I'm so proud of all of you for taking this time to, to be here and, do this thing to improve your life. Yeah. Bye, guys.
Thank you, Yvonne, for the love, and thank you so much for the amazing tips, practical tips you've got there. Okay, Allan?
Well, for me, it's call to action. Definitely register for this program. It's going to be really helpful. And the last thing I think is, remember always this, be phenomenal or be forgotten. That's something that you will constantly take to the bank. Be phenomenal or be forgotten. So thank you so much. I'm looking forward to having other people go through this same experience and also joining in on other sessions just to hear how it benefited them as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. You guys have been amazing. This session would not have been a success if you didn't turn up. Jesse, Yvonne, Allan, and of course, Mwenesi in absentia, because it's been a very big part of organizing this as well. We are so grateful for every participant who joined in. Let's make a difference in our lives by understanding our value and trying to ensure that we are actually matching it up to the skills and the needs that are required in the market, and will definitely make an impact. Have a lovely weekend. God bless you, and we'll see you in class. And make sure you drop your emails as well, because I'll be sharing this with Yvonne. Thank you.